Hello and welcome to Ring Talk, the Goodwin Boxing weekly show with myself, Martin Theobald, and Steve Goodwin, head of Goodwin Boxing. You've had a rare weekend off, given a very hectic March.
I needed it. I've done absolutely nothing from Friday or Thursday through to Monday morning, but I'm back to normal now.
Recharge.
I was knackered. So yeah, I had 5 weekends in a row, plus working every day of the week was it's a long, especially when you're my age.
Well, yeah. When we spoke with Josh before, I was saying to him about, is it your old man kind of has this work ethic? Do you feel a pressure to keep up with it? And he said he never did when he was younger, but as he's got older, it's occurred to him quite how much you do actually work. Yeah, no,
I work hard, but yeah, you reap the benefits, and people around you reap the benefits. So that's what it's about, really. So
yeah,
it's all good. But we're back to
you recharge for the end of the season now. Then
there's a lot to look forward to, and lots. We're even starting to build September shows at the moment, so which is great. I mean, it could be in September that we could be doing boxing every weekend for 5 weekends in a row. Very possibly, we could be having involved with shows for the whole 5 weeks of September.
Crikey, right. My wife's watching this. Book me out for
book out for September.
So I mean, it's approaching the end of the boxing season now. Presumably, with the World Cup coming up, that stops promoters from doing too much during mid-June onwards. There's the natural August break.
Well, I can confirm about mid-June for certain now. The Arfan Iqbal fight is definitely at Newcastle on the 16th.
Okay, that's Simon Valilly.
Yeah. So definitely is on the Eddie Hearn card in Newcastle now.
That's a great. I was chatting earlier actually with David Allen, the heavyweight. I've been off getting beat at table tennis by him for the afternoon, but he was saying, because he spars Simon Valilly quite often.
Oh, does he?
And he was telling me some stories about Simon. He said he's a bad man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I thought, I said to him, Arfan's a bad man. We've got a cracking fight.
I don't think Arfan would be worried about anybody.
No, but he was saying when he sparred Simon at first, he said you'd end up. He said, when you kind of your heads come together when you're sparring. And he said 99% of boxers will put their hand up and like sorry. And Simon Valilly be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And like start beating his chest in the middle of the ring, and but he said over time he's calmed himself with Dave a bit now, and Dave knows how to handle him.
Let me tell you, if he starts beating his chest in the fight, I think Arfan will detonate on his chin. So he better keep his hands near his chin, I think.
But yeah, no, I was sat in Nando's discussing this with Dave and thinking that's going to be a cracking.
I think it's an amazing fight. And do you know what? It probably would be one of those fights when Sky don't show it.
Yeah,
it would be crazy. They'll put some crap on.
Well, it's a bit like you've got that Amir Khan show coming up.
It's not great, is it?
With Beppe DeMarco, whoever it is, the guy that he's Phil LaGreco. Which got Dodd Coyle on the undercard, which that's okay.
Yeah, that's alright.
But then there's a really good undefeated clash for an area title.
That's not bad.
And I bet that doesn't get on Sky. I'll put money on it.
But that is actually not a bad fight.
It's a good fight.
The rest of it is toilet.
Oh, it's trash. Absolutely.
So the area title should get, but sometimes you've got Natasha Jonas fighting the girl that's been beaten by everybody, Vivian Obernorth. I said over 10 rounds, and that'll probably get shown, and that's a terrible fight.
Yeah.
But
Vivian's one of those 4 women that seems to be just on call to fight either Jonas, Taylor or Chantel Cameron. I'm sure there's like 5 women just living in a house somewhere that every now and then rotate and fight them. But yeah, I said that area title fight, put pressure on Sky people to get that shown, because that looks like a decent little fight. And is it a next gen show?
No, it's not.
So it'll have Ritson and Kelly presumably.
That'll be for, hopefully that'll be on. Sorry, that one in July. Yeah, so Ritson and Kelly, and then so they'll both be in worthy title fights, which would be great. And then hopefully they'll have the Valilly fight, but you can see that because it's an English title, probably could be the best fight of the night. Yeah. And may not get shown, but hopefully somebody sees sense and puts that on, because that's a fight well worthy of telly.
Someone put pressure on Sky, make sure it gets on, because I sat this afternoon salivating at the thought of those two getting together.
An amazing fight, isn't it?
Yeah, as Dave was saying, he's a bad man, he's a really, really bad man, and I thought, I know Arfan.
He's been another one. So.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, so you got shows coming up in May. I mean, you've got the kind of end of April period now, and then May's coming up, May 19th. Yeah,
and then there's Prospere, Nathan Weise at the top of the card, plus Ollie Patterson and Darryl Churchill in challenge belt fights. We've got Michael Devine, Jumaane, Camero, not on that show, but that's coming up on a show that we're working on something in June.
It's a good fight, that.
It's a great fight, that. It's a great fight. Jumane's defended his title. Michael's looking to break through above Southern Area level. Yeah. So that fight's been made. and Sam Smith, my female boxer from Leeds, is in a massive fight coming up, which we're hoping we can release. The contracts are being signed today, so
a title fight of some sort, hopefully.
Big title fight, and hopefully all Leeds come down to London and get behind her, because she deserves that.
Yeah, well, I've got a friend of Sam who says she's got a big following up there that she's cultivated herself, and good luck to her for doing that.
I hope they come down, because this is a massive night for her. Because she's up against this isn't an opponent that's got a losing record. The opponent she's facing has won her last 7 fights all by knockout.
Right.
So she's a young, hungry fighter. So this is not one of these, which we just talked about, Vivian Obanov.
She's not Vivian Obanov.
No, she's somebody that's coming with ambition and expecting to win, and already holds a major title. So it's a really great fight, and it's a worthy fight. And so I think, Sam will need everybody behind her, and we've done everything we can for it. It's up to her now. So hopefully she'll deliver that.
Excellent.
And then today, at last, Anthony Yard vacated the Southern Area title. At last.
When was he last fought for it?
I think when he beat
Chris Hobbs.
Chris Hobbs. Now, when was that? That must be back in...
That was a year ago. Over a year ago. I'm sure of it.
And we're talking... I know Terry, our friend, loves to talk about people holding on to belts. That has got to be...
Holding hostage.
But sometimes he jumps on the wrong people for holding belts hostage.
Honestly, the UN should have got involved in that hostage situation. That's...
I mean, what was Andy Yard was never going to fight for that, right? So he held on.
Number 2 in the world.
Yeah. Kirk Garvey wins the final eliminator, and then he's got to be forced now to go to purse bids next week. So then he vacates.
Yeah.
But it's just despicable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To set back a year of a belt that should have been released 8-9 months ago, so that other kids could progress their careers. So for Anthony Yard, who should hold, in my opinion, should be embarrassed that he has held up other fighters from fighting for a title. And you can say it's his manager, promoter. The boxer should be embarrassed that he's held up the careers of other fighters for nearly a year.
Especially, those lads that are at that level, they're not going to be challenging Yard anytime soon. But
it's just
if Yard's eyes are above, then...
Well, you tell me why it's been done. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting that you hold up other boxers' careers, and people have not been able to further their careers because somebody who never had any intention to defend it just wanted to sit on the belt. It's disgusting. It's what's wrong with boxing.
Yeah.
And I've met Anthony a few times, and he's a nice guy, but this is something you should be thoroughly ashamed of.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the heavyweight title with Dubois as well, if that ever gets released. But
at the moment, Dubois is still fighting for it, so I think that's fine. And I think when you get somebody that wants to fight, at the end of the day, he's fully entitled to hold on to the belt because he's defended it against AJ Carter, and whilst he's willing to defend...
Dale Jones, isn't he?
Dale Jones, yeah, sorry, AJ Carter and Dale Jones, and at the moment he's defending it. He's fully entitled to hold on to that belt. The time he shouldn't be holding on to the belt is when he doesn't want to defend it.
When he's moved past it, yeah.
Yes. So hopefully he'll do the right thing.
Yeah. Going on to that May one then. So as you say, K Prospere, Nathan Beast.
Yeah.
That's a good fight, that as well. That's
a good fight.
Let's see what K's, he's come back from that hand injury, looked good.
He pulled out last time, he can't pull out this time.
Yeah.
And he's got to go through, he has to fulfil that fight, because Nathan, I feel sorry for him that this fight was due in March and Nathan had trained for it and had to pull out. It's not, it's very unfair to him. But now, between the two of them, they can get it sorted out, and the winner will go on to big things. The Southern Area title for the same weight was due to be competed by Siarsgaard and Danny Connor. Danny Connor pulled out, so that's sitting as a title. But Sia, to be honest, is a good level fighter. Well, he's probably better than Southern Area level. So, at the end of the day, because he's Turkish, he doesn't have a British passport. I don't think he's eligible to fight for anything else.
Yeah.
So, from our point of view, I do have a theory that why fight for a Southern Area title if you're fighting for somebody who's better than the Southern Area level. So we might as well just go and crack on for the English now.
Yeah. And in terms of the light heavyweight one, are you allowed to announce what the potential...
Well, the potential fight is Kirk Garvey against Joel McIntyre.
Yeah, because Kirk Garvey beat Sam Smith, didn't he?
He's got a man...
Not your female Sam Smith.
No, the male Sam Smith.
Swindon's.
Yeah, so Joel McIntyre's well up for that fight. Former English champion. Kirk Garvey's a former ABA champion. It's a great fight. So we are speaking now to try and get the fight on. We would love to have staged it, but we haven't got any room to stage it now. If they'd vacated it a month ago, we'd have been able to put that on a big platform. Unfortunately, because of this behaviour, it's meant that the fight will not get on a big platform. So both Kirk and Joel at this stage look likely to miss out on a big platform because of anti-yard.
Yeah.
Disgusting. But we're working towards now trying to finalise a deal. So that's where we are with it. It's a great fight, and it's a fight I think Joel wins, but I think you've got to give Kirk Garvey a lot of respect.
Yeah. And then, as you say, you're working on the dates for September. When's the last... we're
working on 3 shows. We've got the 8th, 15th, 22nd that are being promoted. Amey Sinfield's running the 8th, Josh is running the 15th, and there's a 22nd date that we're working on who wants that show. So
Amey being the latest as well of the Goodwin boxing
promotion thing. Yeah, she works in the same industry as me in the financial world, and she's watched the boxing grow, and she wants to promote as well. And I'm trying to encourage as many people around the country to promote as possible, because the more promoters you get, the better. And as I say, I can't do everything. I want to concentrate really on management now.
Yeah, and Amy's great fun as well. She
enjoys it as well.
She sees every show. And,
she loves it, so she wants to get stuck into that. That's brilliant for her. So she'll enjoy it, and it adds another dimension to it. So it's great. The more people say that promote around the country, the better, and we'll help everybody do that.
And the second female promoter on the Goodwin box as well.
With Olivia as well. So it's two there. So it's brilliant. No, it's all fantastic. So she'll be doing her first show in September. That's her plan.
Excellent.
So that's brilliant.
And then the other things that are on at the moment for Goodwin boxing, you've got a few announcements that are on hold.
I don't want to keep saying that. The annoying thing about announcements is you have these dates that you're going to release this stuff, and then you can't release it, but it's for things outside our control. So we'll just have to wait now.
There are interesting things coming on.
You know what's coming on, but we just can't. One of the things I've had about 6 weeks. Then the other thing that's I thought we could announce on Monday, but we can't. And then something else we thought we could announce on Tuesday, we can't. So we're just sitting there waiting for it. But
it's like a Tyson Fury comeback.
It is, isn't
Keep
it?
announcing
It's
it.
terrible. But so we don't announce it anymore. But we've got other signings we're working on at the moment. We've got some releases to do about new signings. We've signed a few people lately, but we're just going to release them one by one, get all their footage and everything done first. But
one of which is an exciting heavyweight as well.
Yeah. That's good.
As my friend Terry says, the most athletic heavyweight down in the south. So you can find out.
He's apparently they think he's going to be the real deal. So he's going to be trained by Don Charles. So we're going to have we've got some really exciting times ahead, and a lot to look forward to. And what's really interesting is we're still signing really good quality kids coming forward. So it's very exciting what we have in the pipeline, and the team are growing stronger. The opportunities that we're giving them are growing even more, and we just want to pick up more titles.
Yeah. I think we were discussing it upstairs actually about the fact that at the moment you're almost in a growing period, and then there'll be, to use a farming analogy, like a harvesting period in 6 months when a lot of these lads will be coming into title contention, and then you'll just have shows that are bustling with
title fights.
Yeah,
and that's really because we're just building fighters to the right peak, and we just got a lot of them. But the good thing now is we had this lot of title fights. I mean, one top show we had, I think it was 5 or 7 title fights. Now it's not like that because they're all coming forward, but we're going to get to the stage now where they're all now we've got a big group of fighters getting ready for titles.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
Excellent. Action from the weekend. You see James Degale?
Yeah, I think he's finished.
Yeah.
I think I was I don't know James personally, but I think that I'm glad for him that he didn't finish his career on losing to Callum Truax, because Callum Truax really wouldn't be fit to lace James Degale's gloves 3 or 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, James would have destroyed him. The fact that he did not win that clearly, he won, but he didn't win that clearly, gives me an indication of where James is now. I think he's finished at that high level, and his footwork just doesn't seem to be as good as it was, and I think that at that level I think he's finished. I think in a George Groves rematch he loses. I think
even a Chris Eubank fight. I think he'd struggle.
Yeah, I think he's got 1 or 2 big fights in him, but I don't think at the highest of high level that he's there. I know this is crazy for me to say. I think he's finished when he's a world champion again.
Yeah.
But I don't mean that with any disrespect. I think he's finished.
He's beaten a guy who was 40-1 to win the first fight.
Yeah. And he struggled.
Yeah.
So I think that we've got to say that he's finished at the highest of highest levels.
Yeah, I think it annoys me a little bit actually. One of the things in boxing, it just comes across a bit disingenuous when you see him advertise himself as a 2-time world champion. It's like, you're only a 2-time world champion because you lost
I know.
You lost to a guy who's probably a PE teacher in America somewhere for like Monday to Friday. I'm not a fan of that anyway.
So I mean, could you lose and win and lose and win? So if you keep losing and winning alternatively, you can become a 5-time world champion.
Yeah.
Because you lose a lot.
Now I get if you lost it to somebody great and then you came back and won it in, you know, a year later and you had a war with that person, brilliant. You legitimately, but not to lose.
No, I can't buy into that. It's just nonsense.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what James does.
I like that Jarrett Hurd though.
Yes,
isn't he great? More positive.
Isn't he great? Like he's fun.
Kell Brook wants to fight me, you sure?
Well, Kell Brook's out there talking to Errol Spence, like, come to Sheffield and I'll fight 154.
I know, and why would
I want to fight Hurd.
Well, I mean, deadly serious. Why on earth would Errol Spence want that fight again? And Kell Brook goes, doesn't need to be for a title. Errol
Spence said, well, why would I come?
Exactly. I mean, you remember when Kell Brook was world champion, he didn't want to fight Amey Sinfield, he didn't want to fight this one because he was the man in control. You know, why is that? Honestly, sometimes hypocrisy.
I wonder what goes through Kell Brook's head sometimes. If I'm honest, when I sit and watch him in those things, like a man who's flattened you at 147, you really want to fight him at 154. You really want to fight Hurd, and I genuinely believe he does want to fight him.
He does. I think I think Kell Brook. I think what Kell Brook has shown everybody, he's a proper warrior and he can fight anybody. And he should have been protected from the Golovkin fight. I don't care what money he earned from that fight. It wasn't. That was the end of Kell Brook, as we know. Although I think he looked good against Rumchenko. But then Rumchenko was gone. So I don't buy into that. That was a
gimme. That
was a gimme. Yeah. So in reality, I think what we've seen is that fight with Golovkin really done him.
Yeah, they talk about career-ending money. That was a career-ending fight almost. It was,
and then you got the Errol, but he's again. You probably end up with the fight they should do is Kell Brook, Camero.
Yeah.
They can both get well paid and they can ride off into the sunset. Neither fighter are on the top of their game now, so they might as well do it as a cash-out.
In the same way as James Degale, George Groves, you kind of think you've both had good careers. You know, James Degale's been off-road warrioring over in America. Just the two of them go and set out a decent-sized stadium, do it at Stamford Bridge or something.
Earn a fortune. You both deserve.
Absolutely.
You both deserve to earn good money, so crack on and earn it.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Although I'm dubious. I've not heard anything official. The whole George Groves World Boxing Super Series
does sound a bit.
What are we now? Middle of April, and they've not announced anything. You've got what, a 2-month lead time before fight.
Doesn't sound great, does it?
That'll take you middle of June. You got a World Cup coming up.
Well, you know that the Sounders can't be that confident about putting this on because they released the Arfan Iqbal fight to Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
So if they're releasing the Arfan Iqbal fight to Eddie Hearn, that's indicative to me that they're not confident about staging a UK show.
Do you know what else is indicative? If you look on their Twitter feed. I looked yesterday, about 4 of the last 7 tweets they've done were about Chris Eubank Jr. I was thinking, it's a little... To me, it was just planting a few seeds that... I don't know, we'll see Eubank versus Smith.
Callum Smith, probably.
I've got no objection to that.
Who wins?
Smith for me. I think he just outbox him. There's still, despite the performance from Eubank in that fight, there's still an aura about him that makes people. It made me want to watch it because he'd probably come back and tell us that he was 100 times better and he's learned how to jab or something like that. Yeah. I'd still want to watch it. But yeah, okay, we'll move on to questions now. I'm unprepared this week, so we're going off my phone. Handful of questions, one of which I'll have to answer. First one, what's Del Boy's next move and who's he eyeing up to fight? From Tyso Williams.
Well, I've just tried to literally this is going out on Friday, but I'm speaking as of Tuesday, so we're recording this. I just got a text from Eddie Hearn, who's in America. He's not going to be on May the 5th because David Hay does have a veto on who fights on the show, and I know Eddie was trying to get him on. I think David Hay's made a mistake, but that's David's choice. So Derek won't be on that show. So Eddie's looking to get him out in May, and we'll speak about opponents when he gets back next week.
That's a shame.
But I think they needed that show. I'm not sure it sells out the O2, and I think it would have helped if they had Derek in a meaningful fight to sell it out.
I think they sold the O2. I just don't, to me that doesn't sell.
It hasn't sold. There's loads of empty seats.
Has it?
Go on. You go and have a look. There's loads of seats.
I'm not going. So
I looked last week out of interest because I looked to see what's going on, but no, there was plenty of empty seats.
Not on the dodgy secondary ticket market, is it?
Yeah, well, there was. No, I think I saw them on Axis. No, I saw them on Axis. No, because they released load more.
Oh, right, okay.
But he hadn't released load more last Monday. Load more went on, and there were tickets in nearly every price range.
Right. Yeah, but I don't think there's that much interest. You need a strong undercard on it. just because of the fact that David Haye's broken down so often. I think, if it were me, I wouldn't even buy a ticket on the basis that I'm not going to trust it's going to happen to him.
And that's why sales have been affected.
Yeah.
Not because it's not a great fight. If David Haye turns up in great shape, then I think it's a really good fight. But people now don't trust it anymore.
If David Haye turned up from the David Haye of 10 years ago, he'd wipe the floor with Tony Bellew anyway. I'm convinced of it. The only reason we give Bellew a chance is because Haye's he's sellotaped together in places, and I've still got a lot of interest in David Haye, but you have to accept that it's a risk.
So I think that's why people aren't buying. It's not selling as well as you hope. But as far as Del Boy's concerned, he won't be on May the 5th.
Okay. Question from Mikey at Analyse Boxing. This has been a hot topic. Is there any way you can appeal on Miles Shinkwin's loss? I saw it and it was very poor. Several rabbit punches from Liam Conroy that definitely contributed to the stoppage, in my opinion. Shocking.
Well, we have lodged, I wouldn't say an objection, but we've asked the board to look at the fight. In my opinion, the way I phrase this is everybody's entitled to have an off day, and the referee had a major off day. Let's just leave it at that. He was specific in the dressing rooms about no rabbit punching. But he warned Miles about rabbit punching. I'm just not sure he went to the other dressing room and reminded him about rabbit punching.
He didn't do much in one.
Because I think he gave Miles 2 lots and Conroy's gone out and thought he can rabbit punch. But if you look at the fight, Miles wins the first round. You go to the second fight and Liam catches Miles with a right. Definitely catches him with a right, but no bigger right or heavier right than you would see in many fights. It wasn't a right that Miles went down from or wobbled from. And then Liam rushed, because it was the first time in the fight he'd even landed a punch, right? Because he'd been totally outboxed in the first round. He rushed him to the ropes. Miles then probably should have done something different, but basically they sort of tuggled together, and I think the referee should have split them. And then all of a sudden Liam's walloped him with bunches of rabbit punches around the back of the head, which totally disorientated him. Then he's wobbled to the corner with another flow and the referee was stopped. But it's quite clear, in my opinion, that the damage was caused by illegal punches that the referee chose not to deal with. And I think they need to ask the question, why, if that had happened, I've never seen that happen at your call, ever. I've never seen a referee you get one rabbit punch at your call, don't you, with Southern refs, and they jump straight in and say, stop, don't rabbit punch.
Give you a telling off.
They just allow him to willy-nilly, and even in the final flurry in the corner, but he's gone by then, he's rabbit punching again. Still allowed.
Yeah. I mean, what confuses me about it is if you want to make the argument that right hand knocked Miles out and he was out on his feet, okay, you can make that argument, but then if that's the case, the referee should have stopped the fight there. But he didn't. He allowed it to go on, and so
he wasn't out.
He wasn't out for me. He wasn't out at all. He was still there. His defence was poor. Like, let's be harsh about it. In that he let his left shoulder drop, let Conroy come in, and then he had his arm around almost the bum area, where he should have wrapped up.
I agree.
Easy for me to say, granted, but I've just been whacked in the faces. But at that point, I know it's defend yourself at all times, but you can't defend that part of your head. No, bar wrapping somebody up, but the referee should have been there to do something.
But the thing is, the board, I always say about the Board of Control, they're a very fair organisation. They're going to look and judge it as they see fit, and whatever they decide, we accept.
It's a hard one. I mean, I get that from their end, if they say a rematch is required, then they're almost saying the referee wasn't up to the job that night, and that's a hard one.
It's a difficult one to call, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's very difficult, but for Miles, we feel that we do feel that it wasn't a correctly handled fight, and we don't feel that Miles had the right opportunity. And you can't allow boxers to be hit with that many punches. It's also dangerous to be hit on the back of the head that many times. So I think it is something that they need that the board will look at, and they will look at it, and they'll come to a decision. Whatever that decision is, we will accept. We hope that they do something about it, because for Miles Shinkwin, that lot, if that goes down as a normal loss, he then, it's very hard for him to rebuild from that position if he's got to drop all the way back down and start again. And I don't believe that he should have to do that on the back of what happened to him in Preston. I have it's only the second time I've ever taken a boxer to the north of England for title fights, and
Many Edwards being
another one. And if you watch that fight from a few years ago, that was one where my fighter ended up suffering a bleed on the brain. He fought Matty Askin, who I get on well with. I like Matty Askin and his manager Paul Speak. But if you actually go back and watch that fight, there were several illegal blows in that fight that were allowed to go unpunished as well. And I do want to credit the Southern Area refs. That I believe that when I watch our boxers fight, you will call even in title fights against boxers from outside the Southern Area. I don't think I've ever looked and thought that nobody's had a fair shake, or that any illegal blows have been allowed to go unpunished. So it is quite difficult for me when we go up north, and you think, hold on a minute, that's, what's coming, and I think, without being disrespectful to the referee, maybe it's difficult up there, the pressure from the thing, but you've got to try and look at it and say, if Miles Shinkwin was throwing all those rabbit punches to Liam Conroy, would he have been allowed to do that?
Yeah, I think the title fights that I've seen at York Hall, where you get somebody from up north or from Scotland or from Wales or whatever, the referees are very, very non-partisan there. They don't get influenced necessarily by a crowd or a...
I'm not saying the referee, you can't say that the referee was partisan, but you can say that he shouldn't have allowed that many rabbit punches to be installed on, and I say the same thing. I don't believe that if that was Liam Conroy getting stopped in the second round with a load of illegal punches, that it would have ever happened there.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. And whether that's the referee subconsciously affected by the crowd, no way on earth there'd be a riot if the home fight was stopped like that.
Yeah. Final question, one which I don't think you can actually answer for board purposes. From John Bailey, what does Steve make of the Boxing Advantage Company model being used by Barry McGuigan, 5k minimum input?
Well, I did get that question fired over to him this afternoon, so I did look at the internet and research the company. Now, the problem is I am a financial advisor, and it does say on the website that for either investors can invest directly with no advice, or investors should go and get advice from a financial advisor. So the problem is that scheme comes under my professional jurisdiction as a financial advisor, which is regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, which means that I can't give advice. I can't give advice.
Not that paying. Someone paying.
No, it's not even paying. A client would have to come to me. I don't envisage any client coming and asking me about that.
You'd be the perfect one to consult.
100%.
Boxing and financials.
If somebody wants to come to me, I can tell you everything about that scheme, ins and outs, ups and downs. But from my point of view, I can't discuss it on here because I'd be in risk of losing my license.
Yeah.
So I like to answer everything, but I can't answer that question.
Yeah. It's an interesting scheme. It's the first time it's been tried in boxing. There are a number of red flags if I was looking at it from a boxer and an investor potential. But I'm not Barry McGuigan. I haven't laid it all out, and I'm sure he's got answers to what my red flags would be. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But I think that sums up everything that we've got for the week. That's all the questions. So thank you those that have submitted them.
So we'll be back next week and hopefully got a load more. Well, hopefully there'll be a lot more for us to talk about next week.
Yeah. All right, excellent. So thank you very much for watching. Before I go, I want to give a mention. We keep doing our podcast at the moment. The Calm Zone, a charity which I've been involved with, which are dealing with male suicides. Just something that's for people out there that they get affected by it, either by yourselves, mental health and male. I think their work is with men committing suicide.
Have you ever known anybody that's committed suicide?
I haven't. No, I'm lucky enough not to.
I had one of my clients. He was we're going back 3 years ago. One of my financial clients, really wealthy man, wife, young kid, more money than you'd ever want. Lived in Milton Keynes.
Right.
And he hung himself at 44.
Yeah. Well, it's the highest killer for men of a younger age group.
I realised that when it happened to him. I've done some research, and it's quite scary how many people get to those depths, and a charity that's set up to try and combat that. I don't know how you actually combat it, because how do you know somebody's going to do it? And that's the only.
It's about they're encouraging people just to talk and contact them. So it's the calmzone.net. It's just something I've got involved with on a personal level.
So if somebody's feeling a bit like suicide, and give them a call and they'll talk to you.
Or if you think your mate is or whatever, just contact your mate and ask them to.
It's a really good idea.
And it's specifically aimed at males. Nothing against females, but it's such a high killer within young males. That they're aiming it specifically at that, and they're doing a really good job. And so it's just something, just chucking it on there. That's if anyone out there is affected by it, get in contact with them, look them up, or if you can find any ways to help and support them, do the same. But sorry, that was my brief interlude at the end.
No, well worth doing.
So thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you next week.